Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, my dear middle 3 students. This is our first lesson in this year's syllabus, the year 2020 to 2021. The unit one, it's titled with force and motion. And our first lesson is motion in one direction. This is one of the simplest type of motions, motion in one direction. مفيش داعي للكلكعة ونبقى more than one direction. Inshallah, you will take it later. We are going to start with the motion, definition of the motion. Now, we can say that it is a change of an object position. It is a change of object position. Please concentrate on this. As time passes, because it took time in this changing of the position. And this happens according to another object will another object that fixed object. So we can notice the movement of any object if we compare between its motion with another fixed object. لازم يكون في واحد fixed والتاني بيتحرك عشان نقدر بسهولة نتعرف ان ده اتحرك. Okay? This is the definition of motion. Now, what about the paths? The movement path, the movement way. It could be one of three. It could be one of three passes: straight, direct straight, or curved, or combination of both. The object can move straight, no problem. This is a way of pathing, or movement, sorry. Okay, and it can move in curved or combination of both. ثلاث حاجات دول, three ways of movement. تمام. What about the simplest type of motion? طبعا simplest type لو قارنا الستريت بالكيرفد يبقى اكيد الستريت is more simple than curved. طيب لو قارنا الدايركشنز مين اسهل؟ one direction or more than one direction. هنلاقي ان one direction is simpler. يبقى straight line simpler than curved. One direction simpler than more one direction. يبقى simple of the simplest أو simplest of the simple. احنا نقدر نقول اللي هو ايه straight line and in one direction. يبقى two conditions عشان أقول to describe this motion as the simplest type of motion. ايه هم conditions? It must be in a straight line and also in one direction. Example على كده المترو or train. طيب تعالوا give reason. سؤال شهير قوي. Motion, train motion or metro motion considered motion in one direction. احنا بنعتبرها motion in one direction ليه؟ لأن ال train or metro it moves in one direction backward or forward. ما بيمشيش رايح جاي, هو بيمشي forward or backward. والpasses بتاعه maybe on a one of three paths, straight, curved, or a combination of both paths like in forward or backward. It doesn't move upward and downward. It only move forward and backward. عشان كده بسميها in one direction like this big. تمام؟ كده المترو ماشي in one direction. يا إما رايح كده يا إما بعد كده it's going to stop at the end وبعدين going back. Only one direction. تعالوا نشوف السبيد. ايه هي السبيد؟ why we are using speed first? هي physical quantity. It's a quantity used to يا إما describe the motion or compare the motion between objects. يبقى describe and compare the motion. يعني ايه؟ ممكن الاقي ده بيتحرك بسرعه, ده بيتحرك ببطء, ده بيتحرك بسرعه, ده اسرع من ده وده ابطأ من ده. يبقى انا اقول this is more faster, this is more slower. Okay, أو this is fast, this is slow. يبقى I can describe your movement by the way fast or slow, by your speed, or compare between your movement and any other object if you are faster or slower or even with the same speed. ده الاستعمالات للسبيد. طيب تعالوا نشوف exercise 1 و exercise 2. exercise 1, two cars A and B move on the same road. تعالوا نشوف. car takes car A أو takes time T1 و B takes time T2. ده معناه ان T1 مش هي T2 والا كنا قلنا time T تبقى constant. لا, T1 and T2 to cover distance to cover the same distance. يعني الاثنين ماشيين و cover the same distance. لكن T1 less than T2. Which of the two cars faster and why؟ طبعا هنا car A faster than car B لأنها take less time to cover the same distance. تعال نشوف الموضوع ده. لو احنا هنبتدي من البداية الجرين والبلو car they are moving for the same distance. لكن مين أسرع دلوقتي؟ who take less time؟ هنلاقي إن البلو color take less time to reach the final line على الرغم ان الديستنس the same لكن it took less time. تعال نشوف نفس الموضوع هنا لو كان drawing. car A 100 meters in 5 seconds. car B 100 meters the same distance but in 10 seconds. يبقى طبعا the faster is the one who took less time. الكونكلوجن هنا ان السبيد affected by time. يبقى الفاكتورز الفيرست فاكتور affect on the speed اللي هو الايه؟ التايم. تعال نشوف another example أو exercise. B car cover distance D1 و A cover distance D2. يبقى أكيد D1 مختلفة عن D2. At the same time span في نفس المدة المحددة يعني التايم هنا ثابت. لكن ال difference D1 و D2. طيب which one of these two cars is faster؟ طبعا هنا بسيطة جدا. A لأن A take longer distance in the same time. أو at the same time. more longer distance than car B. تعالوا نشوف الموضوع ده. احنا خدنا التايم اهو 3 ثواني 4 ثواني لان اليالو كار took longer distance او cover longer distance than the black one. يبقى اليالو كار هي الايه؟ الفاستر. تعالوا نشوف الدروينج. 5 seconds 5 seconds لكن this cover 50 meters and this cover 30 meters. So if we are going to compare between them يبقى car A faster because it covered longer distance at the same time span with the car B. الconclusion. Two factors necessary to description of motion أو description of speed. تمام؟ two factors ايه هي؟ distance covered by the moving body. effect on the speed ولا لا؟ طبعا بيأثر. time taken by a moving body to cover this distance. طبعا this is the second factor. من هنا لقينا ان الرول بتاعنا او الايكويشن بتاعنا V equal D over T او speed equal distance over time. السبيد equal distance divided time. من هنا اقدر اجيب الديفينيشن. بقول السبيد عباره عن ايه؟ It is a distance moved through a unit time. كلمه unit time دي ممكن تبقى second او تبقى hour بس بشرط لو هجيب السبيد when the time is second it must be meter per second. اليونت بتاعتها meter per second. لكن لو هتكلم على السبيد when the time a unit time is hour I must mention kilometer per hour. يعني عندي two units of the speed meter per second or kilometer per hour. طيب we provided the car or the plane with the speedometers. طب السبيدوميترز هنا بتعمل ايه؟ It is the device used to identify to determine the speed of the cars or the planes directly من غير بقى ما اعمل calculations واشوف عدد لفات واشوف عدد حاجات. لا هي اساسا بتعمل الكالكوليشنز بتاعتها. السبيدوميتر بيترجم العدد لفات العجل بتاع العربيه او سرعه الطياره دايركتلي ويجيبها لي دايركت. تمام. طيب تعالوا نشوف بقى the relation between the speed distance and speed time. اي حاجه مع اللي فوق اهو في equation مع اللي فوق directly proportional واي حاجه مع اللي تحت inversely proportional. يعني ايه مع اللي فوق directly؟ يعني when the distance increase the speed increase لانهم directly at constant time. لازم اثبت التالت at constant what time. لو ما قلتش at constant time اجابتي ناقصه. now this relation is directly proportional. It's not the same when I get the relation between speed and time. They are inversely proportional. It means when the time increase, the speed decrease at constant distance. يبقى هنا inversely proportional means one increase and the other decrease. لكن directly proportional both of them decrease or both of them increase. تمام. Some conversions to help us in solving the problems وكلنا عارفينها. For the distance kilometer لمتر times 1000. 1 kilometer equal 1000 meters. طب from meter to centimeter times 100. طب from kilometer to centimeter times 100,000 يعني times 1000 times 100. تمام. Time hour minute second convert from hour to minute times 60 from minute to second times another 60. فضل المهم جدا بقى. When I'm going to convert meter per second to kilometer per hour or vice versa, kilometer per hour to meter per second. تعالوا نشوف عندنا رقمين مهمين جدا 18 and 5. 18 and 5. لو هحول من meter per second to kilometer per hour اعمل times 18 over 5. طب لو هحول من kilometer per hour لمتر per second اعمل times برضه بس 5 over 18. طب يا مستر عمرو هنتلخبط مين 18 ومين 5 مين هنحطها ازاي؟ اقول لك بسيطه متر per second صغيره times الكبير فوق اللي هو 18 divided 5. طب العكس كيلومتر per hour كبيره times الصغير فوق اللي هو 5 over 18. يبقى انا لو بحاول متر per second لكيلومتر متر per second صغير يبقى times 18 over 5. كيلومتر per hour لمتر per second يبقى 5 times 5 over 18. لان ممكن اعمل divided 18 divided 5 يبقى times 5 over 18 في الماث. تعال نشوف some questions. What's meant by the speed of a car equal 80 km per hour. هنا لازم نكون فاهمين يعني ايه speed. كلمة 80 km per hour معناها ايه؟ تعال نشوف. It means that the car covers distance of 80 km in 1 hour. 80 kilometers in 1 hour. Speed in a unit time. Speed in a unit time. Okay? Sorry, distance in a unit time. Distance in a unit time. Okay? What's meant by the speed of a car equals zero. دي سهلة قوي. يعني ايه speed of a car equals zero؟ يعني الراجل ما اتحركش. Okay? يبقى ده معناه ايه؟ It means that the car is at rest. ناخد another one. A car covers 100 meters in 5 seconds. فكر معايا كده. يعني ايه car covers 100 meters in 5 seconds؟ يبقى per 1 second هيكون عمل ايه؟ ودي تبقى السبيد بتاعته. انا اقدر اعرف من هنا to calculate the speed. Distance divided time 100 divided 5 تبقى 20. يبقى معناها ايه؟ This means that the car moves with the speed 20 meters per second. 3 types of questions. تعالوا نشوف بعد كده. دي problem حلها نشوف الجيفنجز بتاعتنا وبعدين نبتدي نعوض في الرول. A plane moves from Aswan airport to cover a distance of 810 kilometer in 1.5 hours. يبقى the 810 هكتب على طول الديستنس 810. 1.5 hour هكتب على طول 1.5 hours. ايه بقى؟ التايم بتاعتي 1.5 hour to reach Cairo airport. calculate the speed يبقى هحط كلمة speed وجنبها question mark. ماشي كده؟ طيب عايز السبيد كيلومتر per hour مفيش أي مشاكل. عندي دي بالكيلومتر and this is by hour. يبقى هعمل إيه؟ هقسم 810 divided 1.5 540 kilometer per hour. مفيش مشاكل. The second step meter per second. How can I convert from kilometer per hour to meter per second؟ فكر معايا. كيلومتر per hour كبير يا هعملها تايمز مين اللي فوق ال5 ولا ال18؟ طالما دي الكبيره عايز احولها يبقى ال5 الصغير فوق يبقى تايمز 5 over 18 هتطلع 150 meters per second. تمام. Another one. A train starts to move at 6 o'clock in the morning. Then what is the time of arrival if it moves at speed 40 kilometers to cover the distance of 200 kilometers? Okay, تعال نشوف هنا دي clock time مش هنحسبها نحطها معانا بس considered. Then what is the time of arrival؟ يبقى لازم اعرف عشان اعرف arrival time I must calculate the time of the trip. وبعدين لما اجيب time of the trip اعمل له adding to the starting time وبعدين اجيب الفاينل time. طيب التايم of the trip I need the distance and I need the speed. Speed 40 كيلومتر per hour هكتبها والديستنس 200 كيلومتر. يبقى الديستنس divided التايم هتديني ال 5 hours. distance اللي هي 200 divided 40 هتبقى 5 hours. طب 5 hours وانا قايم الساعه 6 الصبح يعني 6 o'clock in the morning plus 5 هتديني 11 a.m. This is the time of arrival ميعاد الوصول. اوكي. طيب نتكلم بقى على types of speed. Speed can be described as إما regular أو uniform أو irregular و non-uniform. إيه الفرق ما بين uniform speed أو non-uniform؟ لو قلت regular و irregular ما عنديش مشكلة. Regular speed or uniform speed, it is a change of an object position. طيب خلي بالنا من الكلمتين دول distances و periods of time. distances و periods of time. ده معناه إيه؟ by change of position by equal distances at equal periods of time. equal و equal. لو equal distances at equal periods of time يبقى دي uniform ثابته ما بتتغيرش. equal distances at equal periods of time. طيب whether the distance and time are short يستحسن تنفيذ الكلام ده في المسافات الصغيره. ده صوره كده بتحدد ان الراجل ده ماشي بيونيفورم سبيد او شكل كده من ايام زمان كده من الخمسينات او الاربعينات. دي يمكن تكون سنه اواخر الاربعينات او نص الاربعينات ممكن. اوكي المهم الشكل ده بيقول ان تقريبا السبيد هنا ما بتتغيرش وبالتالي اتس كونستنت سبيد. تعالوا نشوف الشكل ده to describe the motion from 0 to 4 meters. تمام. from 4 to 8 4 meters. from 8 to 12 4 meters. يبقى كده ايه equal distances. طب periods of time 4 meters in 2 seconds. طب 4 meters in 2 seconds 4 meters in 2 seconds. ده معناه ايه؟ ان equal distances at equal periods of time. تمام؟ طيب now calculate the distance covered by a car move at regular speed كام؟ 70 km per hour. يبقى انا عندي هنا السبيد واعمل calculate للديستنس يبقى اعمل distance وجنبها question mark. دي اللي انا عايزها. so regular speed السبيد بتاعتي 70 km per hour. number A half an hour time during a half an hour. يبقى انا هنا عندي time half وعندي السبيد 70. اقدر اشوف الديستنس ولا لا؟ بين التريانجل هلاقي الديستنس equal السبيد times التايم. speed times التايم اهي اهي distance equals speed times 70 times half 35. طب هو عايزها تاني in 2 hours يبقى 70 times 2 140 kilometers per hour. not uniform speed. هنا الموضوع بمنتهى السهولة. speed by which the object move when it covers distances with periods of time. هناك في الموشن في يونيفورم كنا بنقول equal. هنا هنقول unequal distances at equal periods of time وممكن تبقى زي تحت كده equal distances but and at unequal periods of time. يعني one of them must be unequal والثانية تبقى equal. اوكي يبقى نفس الديفينيشن تقريبا لكن مش equal unequal or unequal. The car cannot move at regular speed. خلي بالنا من النقطة دي. cannot move. مش أنا بقول له it moves with irregular speed. فرق كبير ما بين the car move with irregular speed with the car can't move with at regular speed. ليه؟ لأن الإجابة هنا give reason. The car can't move at regular speed. ليه؟ due to due to the conditions of road and traffic. يعني road and traffic الترافيك يعني إشارة مرور وتوقفها وبعدين تمشي وبعدين تقف وبعدين تمشي. طب الرود مطبات حفر حاجات زي كده ممكن تعمل ايه؟ او منحنيات تخليها مش ماشيه at regular speed. تمام؟ دي cannot move. لكن لو قلت لك the car move give reason at irregular speed ليه هي ماشيه irregular speed؟ هتقولي ساعتها الديفينيشن because it covers unequal distances at equal periods of time. تمام؟ طيب الاكزامبل بتاعي او الشكل بتاعي طبعا كل دول moves with irregular speed، مفيش ولا واحده منهم ثابته، او الشكل ده برضو ولا واحده في دول ماشيه بريجولر سبيد، كلهم irregular speed. تعالوا نشوف ونقارن ما بين الirregular speed معايا هنا. هنشوف مع حضراتكم ازاي نشوف او نقارن ما بين الريجولر والirregular سبيد في الموفي الصغير ده. to share the screen عشان خاطر نشوف السكرين كده، وازاي نقارن ما بين
uniform motion and non-uniform motion. A body is said to be in uniform motion if it travels equal distances in equal intervals of time. A body is said to have non-uniform motion if it travels unequal distances in equal intervals of time. For example, consider a car moves from one position to another position about 16 meters distance within time t 8 seconds. Here, the car starts from O and after 2 seconds, it reaches position A covering a distance of 4 meters from the origin as shown. In next 2 seconds, it reaches position B covering a distance of 8 meters from origin, and in next 2 seconds, it reaches C covering a distance of 12 meters from origin, and in next 2 seconds, it reaches D covering a distance of 16 meters from origin. In this case, the car covers a total distance of 16 meters in 8 seconds with equal intervals of 2 seconds. It means that the distance covered by the car is directly proportional to the time. From this illustration, we can conclude that the car had traveled equal distances in equal intervals of time. So, this type of motion is known as uniform motion. Another example. Consider a car moves from one position to another position about 16 meters distance within time t 8 seconds. Here, the car starts from O and after 2 seconds it reaches position A covering a distance of 2 meters from the origin as shown. It reaches position B covering a distance of 8 meters from origin, and in next 2 seconds it reaches C covering a distance of 10 meters from origin, and in next 2 seconds it reaches D covering a distance of 16 meters from origin. In this case, the car covers a distance of 16 meters in each 2-second interval. From this illustration, we can conclude that the car had traveled unequal distances in equal intervals of time. So, this type of motion is called as non-uniform motion.
Now we went back to the non-uniform speed and uniform speed. Now let's go to another one. Here is an example of non-uniform speed or velocity, because if we can see here, the car moved 30 or cover 30 kilometer in 1 hour, and then 30 kilometer in half an hour, and then 30 kilometer in a quarter of an hour. It means that it covers equal distances at unequal periods of time. Okay? Now it covers 90 meters in also, 90 kilometers, and in one 0.5 and 1.75 for the total 1.75 hours. Okay? Now, here we can, it's difficult to determine the amount of irregular speed. Irregular speed, and sometimes I move with 30, sometimes I move with 50, unequal distance or the unequal time, no problem. So how can we describe the motion at this time? How can I calculate the speed at this time? Okay, we describe the motion or the speed by the average speed. The term called what average speed. الافريج speed هنا مهمتي في حاجه واحده بس. It is the total distance covered by moving object divided by total time. خلاص يبقى انا مش مشكله عندي حضرتك within your path or your road مشيت بشكل speed قد ايه. المهم ان في النهايه I will calculate your average speed by total distance divide by total time. Total distance divided by ايه؟ total time. يبقى هي دي الافريج سبيد بتاعتك. تعالوا نشوف موضوع اذا كان عندنا example. For example هنا بيقول ايه؟ A research covered distance 100 meters straight track in 10 seconds. يبقى كاني برسمها كده 100 meters in 10 seconds. خلاص؟ research بيجري. He returned back walking، يعني رجع walking، بس مشي قد ايه؟ took 80 seconds time to come back to the starting point. يعني رجع للستارتنج بوينت تاني ولكن in 80 seconds. يبقى خد 100 meters in a straight line in 10 seconds, return it back to the starting point in 80 seconds. Calculate the recent average speed. تعالوا نفكر مع بعض. طب while running يبقى first 100 meters distance 100 and time 10. So the distance will be 100 divided 10. طيب while returning هو رجع لغاية starting point. It means that it covers also 100 meters لكن التايم هنا in 80 seconds. طب during the whole trip يبقى هجمع التوتال ديستانس على divided by total time. دي الافريج سبيد. total distance 100 and will return in 100 يبقى 200 والتايم 10 plus 80 equal 90. يبقى 200 divided 90. That was the last for the session today, and I hope that we are going to continue later. I hope that you understand all what we said, explained here, and also with the problems. Be familiar with the problems. See you next time, inshallah.